We're Costco guys. Of course we hit full TP on No News Monday, mother. It's 9:58 in the morning at the time I'm recording this, and I'm already done on the day. We took one trade, 40 points. Remember on Friday, I said I was going to be going into this week using a 40-point TP, and we did, and we hit TP. Incredible, man. It feels so good when you tweak your strategy, and then the first live trade that you execute hits TP. This was an A+ setup. Let's jump straight into it. Just gonna take this one dub and close the charts and go on with my day. But if I was to take 2 more trades and lose them, I'd be back at break even, which is really good. That's the great thing about a 2RR. So I will go ahead and replay market open to right here. Okay, first things first, our zones we had marked out on the 2-minute was this area up here and then this area down here. Or I'm on the 1-minute now, sorry. I actually marked those out on the 2-minute just like so. You even could have marked those out on the 5-minute and said they were quote unquote higher time frame zones. As you can see here, we just had these relative equal highs up here. This was the most recent high, significant high, so I went ahead and marked that out. I also marked out this low. We had some relative equal lows all down here. Basically, all I noticed before market open was that we were kind of stuck in this range on the 5-minute time frame. You can see you could argue that, it is a 30-point difference, but on a higher time frame, you could argue that these are all relative equal highs, all relative equal lows down here, and we were kind of stuck in this range. So I was specifically looking for, I wouldn't have minded taking something in here to the short side because that is the color that 5-minute Hikinashi was showing going into market open. However, I preferably wanted to see a break either above these highs up here or a break and hold below these lows down here to take a trade in that direction to continue a newly formed trend. I was specifically looking for a short setup, preferably a short setup. One, because 5-minute Hikinashi was red. Also because we have a lot of imbalance to the downside, as you can see right here. We have this like physical gap right here, almost bigger than 40 points physical gap right there. And then we also have this imbalance up here combined together for a total of like over 100 points imbalance right there that we have on the 5-minute time frame, or really any time frame. Just a lot of imbalance there. So I'm thinking if we are able to close and hold below this area right here, we are really going to see a serious dump. Whereas opposed to up here, yeah, we did have some imbalance, but not nearly as significant or as obvious. When I woke up and looked at the chart this morning, this was the very first thing that I noticed. And I noticed these lows. I said, man, if we can close and hold below this level right here, I think we're going to just see a huge flush to the downside the whole day. Honestly, I think my prediction right now for today is that we are going to dump the whole day, or at least we can come down and fill this imbalance down to this gray line that I have drawn out right here. Anyway, that was my analysis on the 5-minute time frame, dropping into the smaller time frames like the 2-minute and the 1-minute, where I actually execute my entries. Hopped onto the 1-minute. Market opens right up here. We'll go ahead and just play this like normal. First candle immediately dumps straight to this first bottom zone, which is great. Then right here you can see we close below and we retest. Boom. I'm like, oh my gosh, on a No News Monday, I am being blessed with a setup within the first 5 minutes of the market, bro. This was just awesome. I was thinking maybe we would chop around for a bit, but no, we just dumped straight off of open. Hat back into here, a little bit of a top wick. Wasn't confident enough to take my entry off of that. Everything was so far lining up for shorts at this point. However, I wasn't confident enough just off of that candle to take the entry. Like I said, we closed below, and now I wanted to see us hold. So I wanted to see this thing kind of hold or consolidate and then show a little bit more weakness out of the zone, because in my eyes, it's like, that's what I think is going to happen. But just in case this thing actually does just rip up completely, I want to make sure that I don't get caught on the wrong side of that. So I'm waiting for a little bit of a hold. We have a pretty bearish candle right there. Still looking for a little bit more confirmation. Okay, now I'm liking this a little more. These candle by candle starting to like this a little more. We popped up, instantly lost a lot of momentum. Back-to-back red candles. I'm like, okay, this setup is starting to look very prime for sure. I go ahead and I take a look on at the 2-minute. We have a big top wick here, as well as this opening candle was a 60-point full body candle. So I'm really liking that, even though these two candles close green, drop back to the 1-minute. Still liking this next candle is going to close right there, just like that. Still waiting one more candle. Still didn't take my entry yet. However, I was really liking shorts now. This is actually the candle that I took my entry off of. My tool is just moved over a little bit because I didn't have it exactly where, but this is actually the candle that I took my entry off of. You can see we just were starting to hold, lost a lot of momentum from that pop up, and then we closed back below the zone. Boom, with all these top wicks, that was enough confirmation for me to actually take a stab at this short setup. I'll show you guys exactly how I got my entry. So I didn't take my entry exactly off of that candle close. I actually marked out my tool and made sure my stop loss was above this previous high. This is something that I talked about on Friday. If you guys didn't watch my video on Friday, make sure to check that out. But this is something that I did mention on Friday, where I wanted to have my stop losses in more precise areas. So in this case, I made sure I would get an entry where my SL would actually be above this previous high, rather as opposed to, like, if I filled right here, my SL would have been probably like down here, and this would have been still in that area of consolidation. I wanted my SL to be above a previous significant high on the smaller time frame, which is the 1 minute in our case, which is going to be right here. So I had my entry marked out right there, waiting to get filled on it. Boom, got filled right there at the retest of that zone. As you can see, once again, we closed below, filled there, SL above there, and now we just let this thing ride, man. We started to come back up. This was a little scary that we rejected off of this low multiple times. You can see one more time right here, we even did actually reject off it again. Kinda did scare me a little bit. However, if I go onto the 2 minute time frame, you can see the setup just looks absolutely prime. Right here, we close below with that opening candle retest, rejection out, red candle close. Boom, this candle right here, absolutely beautiful for some shorts. A little bit of a healthy pullback. Yes, it was off this low. Kind of did scare me a tiny bit, but I stuck to my rules, stuck to, you know, what I know works. I've tested this strategy quite a bit, especially over the weekend, over the last couple days. Last week, I did a lot of live testing, a lot of live recap analysis, whatever the heck you want to call it. And this thing did end up hitting full TP, man, of 40 points, 40 point TP, man. That's just awesome. Like I said, guys, when I was back testing this strategy last week, or just looking back at all my trades, almost every trade that hit 30 point TP ended up running to 40 point TPs. So, you know, first time we ever tried that out, it actually did hit. Let's go ahead and see what's happening on this chart right now. So it looks like we actually did find a low. We actually didn't manage to take out that imbalance down there at the bottom fully. When we started to reject off at 5 minute Hikinashi is starting to flip green over here, as you can see. This thing could possibly rip up, you know, could possibly reverse up back into here. We're about to tap back into the zone. Then I think we're either going to see a rejection out to continue this downtrend, and maybe this is just a stop hunt on the larger time frame. You know, on the larger time frame, still look bearish. On the smaller time frame, we do look bullish. We're ripping up quite a bit right now. If we do break and hold above this zone right here and these highs right here, I could see longs playing out for the rest of the day. But I'm done. Caught my one dub, 40 points on a Monday. I'm really not going to complain. Monday is statistically one of my worst days to trade on, so I'm just going to count my blessings for today and take this one trade and go work on some other stuff that I have to get done today. But with all that being said, guys, that's it from me. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. We are almost at 600 subscribers, just hit 500 a couple days ago, which is just crazy. So thank you guys again. I love you so much, and I will see you later.